here's one of the things about these things. You know, you say a lot of cases in family court are many things at once. You file an order of protection petition, you have a custody petition, and then somebody else has a counter petition for custody or visitation, and then you've got child support pending in front of a judge while the referee is handling the other three matters. All of them are being done through AFC, opposing counsel for the respondent and the petitioner's attorney, which would be me or right. So what'll happen is you have all these different petitions. They're all dueling out there. Discovery is not on because you haven't been ordered to a pretrial conference yet. So before your pretrial conference, you have to provide discovery. But you're not going to provide discovery. You're having a conversation. Everybody knows the issues. Yeah. Everybody knows the issues except for you came in with your client who's the victim of a crime. And you come in with a police report and an order of protection, and you have a strong case for the O petition. Yeah. And you're saying, and the order of protection includes the child. Mm-hmm. And this person's saying, I'm the best parent for the child, even though I beat you repeatedly in front of the child.
Allegedly. Thank you.
Or maybe this person has not stopped violating the order of protection. Maybe they're refusing to provide support for the child, because they want the child, but they don't want to pay you anything, right? There are so many things that go on. Yeah. But the part that's the most frustrating is sometimes there's a neglect petition. Sometimes there's an additional involvement from ACS. Yeah. Sometimes you have somebody from DFS coming in, right?
What's DSF?
DFS is the Department of
Family Services.
Yeah, that's it. So they send prosecutors to prosecute the neglect petition. Now it's not a prosecution, but they're still prosecuting neglect,
they're on you,
right? Yeah. And so you're in the courtroom. You've got AFC paid for by the state. You've got court-appointed attorney paid for the respondent. You've got the AACS attorney paid for. You've got the mother's attorney. The mother might have her own attorney, right? The child might have her own attorney as well. Maybe there's multiple children, and each one of them has to have their own attorney, right? Yeah. And they're all being paid for by the state. Yeah. And they all work in the same courthouse. They all know each other. And you show up and you're like, the child is safest in this home where it has its own bedroom, it has food, it has safety, it has a nanny, it has all this. And they're like, we're not sure. Let's drag this out for the next 2 years.
Yeah. And what happens in the meantime?
Nothing. You just stay in limbo.
Your finances get drained.
Limbo, paying out of your pocket, while the state of New York is paying indefinitely for what's obvious on its face and should go to trial.
So for us, it's great business.
Oh yeah,
but
not for us, because we're not assigned counsel plan. It's
right. So if you get on the 18B panel and you're still then it's.
I mean, imagine walking into a room and it's husband.
Oh, I've done it a couple times recently.
2 children, and you've got 10 attorneys in the room, and 9 of them are being paid for by the state of New York.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
See, you know what it is? The older I get, I'm just like, you gotta find yourself a nice nipple to suck on and suck it on until it's dry.
Don't rock the boat.
Which is what so many people are doing. Like, so many people it's just one hustle or the other. It's like
the government's teeth, man.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Because it's like, what the fuck is they doing? Non-attorneys is way too many chefs in a kitchen.
That sounds like way too many chefs in the kitchen.
And then the other thing is, all of them know each other. They all started legal aid together. They all started in defender services together. They all worked at DFS for 10 years together and trained together. And it's like, and they're just, no one's in a rush.
Yeah. I'm like, look, I don't know if 18B is full of a bunch of piece of shits or not, but what I will say is
I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying that. I don't know. I don't know. But what I will say is ever since it's passed the discovery laws, I've never seen an 18B in a rush a day of my fucking life. I've never seen an 18B in a rush. I've never seen an 18B in a rush.
Look, you got to remember, most 18B attorneys are solos, right? And most of them are getting bombarded with discovery. And they're paid by the hour to review it, right? They don't get paid to the end of the case.
I would do that shit too.
Twice. Yeah, they don't get paid
twice, and then take the ACD.
They don't get paid till the end, right? Yeah. And a lot of times, like you have this attorney who's, it's so common that you have this one attorney who shows up. Maybe he only handles cases in Queens, only handles cases in Manhattan. He knows everybody. He's trying to work the case. He's trying to do the right thing. Yeah. But it's so common that the client just doesn't trust them because they were given to them for free.
They're part of the system.
People do feel like they're getting shorthanded because they're getting someone in the system.
It's true. Yeah. How many times have we heard as public defenders, either growing up before we are or as them, that's like, oh, you're buddy with the DA, you're on the same team, you guys go out to dinner
What's your
together, and all that stuff. And it couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, at least in the criminal world, it is a very
I try to be as friendly as I can.
Oh,
to
me
the
too.
DA.
Me too.
The
Me
funny
too.
thing is,
You get way more you get way more whatever you're getting. With
I
honey
used to
than
think
with
that,
fucking-
but now I think you get way
state.
more knowing the law and pushing issues than you do actually be. And you could do
both,
that
it's
and
both.
be friendly, but just
Well, you want to be
having
aggressive. You want to be aggressive, but
good,
like
respectfully aggressive,
There's-
right? It's a
Yeah.
competition.
Like Michael Jordan,
here's the truth.
scary.
You want to know
But
your stuff,
famous.
right? You want to know your stuff.
Always.
You want to know that you can present your case, but you also want to know what a case's value is. You have to assess a case properly.
Exactly.
It's funny because people will call me saying, "Oh, my public defender is working with the prosecutor," but they know I'm a former prosecutor and they want me because of that. You know, the other day I was in court and I see a colleague who I've known in Queens for many years, and I haven't seen her in forever. We gave each other a hug in front of my client who doesn't trust the prosecution because you know what, the same questioning. The same suspicion does not apply to me as it does to you guys.
Which is crazy because, I think coming solely from a defense view of everything, I'm never going to look at this like a cop is. No disrespect. I mean, or law enforcement, right? I'm never, I just don't have that ability. The other side of that is I have now in the private world, I have clients who are represented by private or 18B who were former prosecutors, and these people that I speak to are like, well, I feel like they're not ready to fight for me, and they're telling me, oh, this looks bad, and this. When presented with the same facts, I'm like, no, we can actually push this, we can do this, and so it's both things are true at the same time, right? We talked a little bit in our episode that we did together about former DAs or DAs. The myths that certain lay people, I hate that term, but laymen,
Basics.
not educated upper echelon people like ourselves,
Basics.
no,
Not
but,
legally inclined.
but there are these assumptions that people have in these systems that are just a lot of the times not true. We talked about it like prosecutors being the victim's attorney. They're not. Right? And so these type of myths are rampant for one reason or another. But it's interesting.
Yeah. And I won't lie, I feel like we still didn't answer the question. So what is these conversations like?
You talk about the facts, the good and the bad, right?
Okay.
You say, hey, you're saying he showed up to the house. What is your evidence? If they have a picture of him in the, down the street and it's order of protection, then you say, all right, what if we consent to an OP without finding of wrongdoing? We just say you can have it. Even that's not great, but it's better than an actual finding of wrongdoing. So you just weigh the evidence and you try to say, listen, what can we do?
And
So for me, it's that's a very I think positive view.
Yeah.
Which is great, because what I encounter a lot is attorneys who live in fiction.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so, for example, I'm like, I have evidence for you. Do you want to see it? And he's like, no, I don't want to. Or I have evidence that their client
that's great.
claimed that the attorney advised them wrongly, by the way, and unethically about something, and I have the evidence of it. And the person goes, "Oh, I would never." I go, "Are you sure?" Because I have the text message where he says that's exactly what happened, right? Or, and here's the big one: I've had cases where I've been handling the case on the criminal side for a long time. Now we're in custody court, and the lawyer's looking at me like I'm the evil guy who's been representing this guy who has no criminal record and has been found not guilty, has been found to be innocent of so many charges, and I'm the bad guy because I'm standing in front of the court going, she keeps lying.
Yeah.
Why
Believe all women.
It's a lot of grandstanding, man.
It's a lot early.
But the thing again is, these people a lot of times they're 18B or they're just in one court. That's all they do. They just sit there collecting all day long on the assigned counsel plan, and they're like sitting in the hallway, and they're sitting around, and they come in, and I come in, I'm bringing facts, but we don't, sometimes your clients are like, look, yes, we have a good case, but I just want my child. I just want to be able to get my order of protection. I don't want to have to delay this any further.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like most clients, especially my clients, are pragmatists.
Yeah.
Like they would like to get the quickest solution.
A lot of
like
times,
like that's best for them. And it sounds like what you're saying is that the family court, which I didn't know this, is kind of the cases are being dragged through interests that shouldn't necessarily be in the equation.
You get some of these private attorneys to hop onto these cases, and they're on the other side, and they're like, look, first thing I ask my client is daddy a good dad? Then why are you trying to keep him away from his daughter? Let's work this out. Stipulation done in 1 hour. Done, filed, everything done on the virtual hearing. That's a great experience. And you get somebody who hasn't been paid yet sometimes, especially on these family court cases, and you can't even get them to pick up the damn phone until they milk a little more money out of their client.
Oh,
There's a child struggling to know where they're going to be.
Yeah.
I won't lie. That's why I'm just.
I've always heard there are two destructions of the family, specifically the black family. The criminal justice system and then the family law system, right? Like it is tearing apart people from their families at the same time.
Absolutely.